They were worshipped as gods. But what if behind the gold masks and towering monuments, there lay secrets too dark for the light of history? What if Egypt's most powerful pharaohs, those divine kings who ruled the Nile and shaped civilization, were not only builders of pyramids and wielders of immense power, but also architects of deception, betrayal, and blood? Would we still revere them as immortal legends? Let us walk deeper into the heart of ancient Egypt, not the one polished by textbooks and tour guides, but the one hidden in the shadows of time. Let's uncover the darkest secrets of Egypt's most powerful pharaohs. When most people think of ancient Egypt, they imagine golden tombs, the Sphinx, and elegant hieroglyphs. But few pause to ask what price was paid for that glory. Few dare to look behind the facade of divinity to find the fragile, flawed, and often ruthless humans behind the throne. Take Ramses II, the so-called Ramses the Great. He ruled for 66 years and claimed over 100 children. His reign was filled with splendor, military might, and lavish building projects. But the truth, beneath that title of great, lay a ruler obsessed with legacy. He chiseled his name onto monuments that weren't even his, erasing others before him. He exaggerated victories like the Battle of Kadesh, portraying a draw as a triumphant win. For Ramses' power wasn't just about ruling, it was about rewriting reality. Then there was Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh, the man who dared to break Egypt's religious backbone by casting aside the gods of old in favor of one, the Aten, the sun disk. He moved the capital, shut down temples, and left priests furious. But this wasn't just a spiritual revolution, it was political suicide. Egypt trembled under his rule. Foreign enemies sensed weakness, and after his death, his name and legacy were so despised that future rulers tried to erase him entirely. His wife, Nefertiti, beautiful, mysterious, may have ruled as a pharaoh in disguise after him. Or perhaps she vanished in disgrace. Even now, her fate is a riddle lost in the sand. But darker still was the story of Tutankhamun, the boy king. Everyone knows his tomb, the only one found largely intact. But few understand the pain behind the gold. Tut was likely Akhenaten's son, born into a divided kingdom. He became pharaoh at just 9 years old. The child had a kaput. He suffered from malaria. His body was broken. Yet he was placed on a throne that demanded strength. Was he a puppet, a symbol? And what of his death at 18? Was it illness, an accident, or was it something far more sinister? Some scholars suggest a blow to the back of his head, murder cloaked in ceremony. And then we come to Hatshepsut, the woman who defied expectations and became king in a world of men. She wore the false beard, took on male titles, and ruled with intelligence and vision. Her reign was peaceful, prosperous. But after her death, her stepson Thutmose III erased her from history. He defaced her statues, removed her name from monuments as if to say, "You were never meant to rule." Her legacy was nearly lost to time. Only in modern excavations was her story finally reclaimed. But how many other powerful women's voices were buried in silence? Let's not forget the ruthless Seti I, a warrior, yes, but also a man who ruled with an iron grip. His military campaigns were brutal. His enemies were not merely defeated, they were erased, enslaved, humiliated. Seti's ambition stretched across borders and into eternity. He built some of the most stunning tombs Egypt ever saw, including his own in the Valley of the Kings. But while his face was serene in statues, his reign was anything but gentle. And what about Cleopatra? Though technically not a pharaoh of ancient Egypt's golden age, her rule marked the final breath of an ancient dynasty. We remember her as seductive, clever, and politically sharp, but behind the legends was a woman trapped between empires. She spoke many languages, navigated Rome's bloody politics, and bore the children of Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. Yet her kingdom crumbled. Her image was shaped by her enemies, especially Rome. After her suicide, Egypt became a province. Her death, marking not just the end of a queen, but the end of pharaonic rule after more than 3,000 years. The truth is, Egypt's pharaohs were never just serene gods in gold. They were human, flawed, terrified of death, obsessed with power. They ruled lands that demanded sacrifices, sometimes from their people, sometimes from their own families. Some were visionaries, others madmen, some were devout, others manipulators. Their secrets weren't just locked in tombs. They were woven into the very fabric of Egypt's grandeur. In ancient Egypt, the line between divine and mortal was intentionally blurred. But history, with all its patience, has a way of unmasking those who once claimed eternity. And so, as we stare into the faces of stone pharaohs and marvel at their legacies, we must ask how much of their story was real, and how much was carefully constructed illusion. If you found this journey into Egypt's shadows compelling, I invite you to share your thoughts below. Which pharaoh's secret surprised you the most? Was it Akhenaten's religious rebellion, Tutankhamun's mysterious death, or Hatshepsut's erased legacy? Like this video if you believe history deserves to be told in full with light and shadow, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that unveil the human behind the crown, the soul behind the statue, because here, we don't just tell history, we feel it.